Welcome to episode 34 of the Turn Down the Hustle Challenge. It's a special series I'm doing amidst my podcast. We've been on a roll with these actionable tasks for the last few weeks. I hope you've been feeling the impact of some of these small but mighty changes in your business because they do add up, right?
You're listening to Turn Down the Hustle, the podcast dedicated to transforming how you run your creative online t-shirt business by working smarter, not harder, so you can spend more time with your why, people, and passions that matter most in your life. So throw on your favorite graphic tee and turn up the heat press, because it's time to turn down the hustle. Here's your host, digital marketer, cold brew lover, t-shirt maker, freckled hype girl, and owner of Sunkissed Virtual Assistant, Amy.
If you missed last week, we talked about creating an FAQ page for your website. This week, we're talking about taking those FAQs and bringing them into your Facebook group because we could put them to use twice, right? If you haven't listened to that episode, pause this one, go back to 33, listen to that episode, and then jump back right in with us. Today, we're diving into how to add FAQs to rules section in your Facebook group. Now, while FAQs may not be technically rules, like that sounds a little confusing, they are a powerful way to leverage a Facebook tool to set expectations, save time, aka turn down the hustle, and ensure your customers have answers that they need when they need them. And believe it or not, they can even have the answers to these FAQs before they even join your group. I'll get into that. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to use this feature so you can reduce repetitive questions and streamline your group's communication. Why should you add FAQs to your rules section on your Facebook group? The first things first, you can give clarity for new members immediately. So there's a couple of opportunities for this. The first one is when someone requests to join your group, they can see all of your rules before they're even accepted. This can help them know what to expect or prevent any confusion. You can even direct them to order before they've even joined your group. Also, if you have membership questions set up where they have to agree to the rules are always displayed whenever they go to request the group. They're also going to see them again amongst those membership questions. Next, we talked about this last week, but reduce repetition. So having those FAQs pre-built reduce the need for you to have to answer the same questions over and over again. And you do so by putting them in your rules section so you can easily access them. And I'll talk about how to do that later on. Okay, so if you completed last episode, you might have a ton of FAQs complete. And maybe you decided you don't want to add all of those as rules. So I'm going to highlight a few that I think would work well as Facebook group rules. The first one being, how do I order? That's a simple one. You can drop your link right in there. What is your turnaround time? That's a great one. And then also, how can I track my order? That could all be in one rule. What about tea party specific things? How can I sign up to host a tea party, or what is a tea party? You could throw all of that into one. Also, what is your return or exchange policy? Maybe you want to include this one, but hopefully people aren't asking for returns or exchanges in your Facebook group, but it could happen. So you can post that. Also, custom orders. This would be a great rule on how can they order a custom, or do you accept customs, and then include that Google form or embedded page on your website so they can place their order. Also, care instructions. How should I wash my teas? That's great as well. I do recommend you keep those FAQs short and to the point though, because that rules section does have limited space. Okay, it's time to get to work. So how are you going to add these FAQs to your rules section? The first thing you need to do is go to your Facebook group, and then on Manage Group on the left-hand side, click under Moderation Tools and select Rules. Then I want you to add a new rule by clicking Create Rule, and then you can title your rule like How to Order, Turnaround Time, something very short and sweet. And then in that description box, if you're doing one for turnaround time, your title would be turnaround time, and then the description in that box you can put, my current turnaround time is 7 to 10 days. Time is 7 to 10 business days. Rush orders can be available for an additional fee, and you can include the fee. Please send me a message for additional details. And then for the variety of other FAQs, you're going to add a separate rule for each FAQ. This will help you keep it organized and make it easier to reference and tag. Then once you're complete, make sure you save all of them and double check to make sure that they are very clear, read them out loud, or ask a friend to check them out to make sure that they make sense. So next, I want you to pin the rules section in the group, because again, these are kind of rules. You could have a few rules in there, but really it's your FAQ, so we want to pin those. The first option is if your group allows you to pin things like events, where any current events, it'll always be pinned, or you can pin rules. Just go up there to that pin section or that featured section and click edit, and then you'll see all the different options there. That's most ideal. It's more clean cut. It just shows all the rules. But if you don't have that option, all you're going to do is when you go to your rules section, copy the link at the top of the page, create a post in your group saying like, check out all my FAQs or rules, and paste the link. So it'll just be a standard post, and then you can pin that post to the top of your group. I hit on this last episode, but just more reminders on how to promote your FAQ rules. So you can post a quick video, you can create a reel or a story walking through your FAQ rules. If you don't want to go on camera, it's super simple. You can just screen record you reading through that rule, talk over it, and then scroll to the next rule, and you can do it that way. And I recommend you repost this video or story like maybe once a month for a refresher. You can also include this link to your FAQs in your auto replies that we set up a few episodes ago. You can highlight it in your welcome post as well. So you can set up admin assist in Facebook to create a new welcome post every Friday or every 10 members that you get, and remind them to review the FAQs in the rules section. And more simply than that, you can just create a post periodically that just says, have a question, you can check out our rules section, something like that, and tag it and remind them to go check it out. I really need a ranking structure for these challenges. Maybe I need to start that on this episode, from 1 to 10 of you could probably get away with not doing this challenge. And 10 is do not do anything else until you complete this challenge. How much do I really think you need to complete this? So if I'm thinking about this one on a scale of 1 to 10 of how important it is, I would say an 8. So that's high up there. And the reason why I am ranking this challenge so high as an 8 is because the time you waste trying to type out your website, or maybe you don't give them the full explanation on turnaround time because you're just replying it so often, you are not only wasting time, but you could be missing the mark for your customer whenever you're not giving them the full answers. Your Turn Down the Hustle challenge this week is to add FAQs to your Facebook group rules section. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Just start with top 5 questions that you're asked most often. Or if you don't have that list, you can pull from some of the ideas I've given you. And if you want more support through these challenges and work through them with a group of other small business owners, I highly encourage you to join the Product Drop Organizer Club. You can check out all the details on my website on how to join. I'll see you next Monday for another challenge. It's time to wrap up another incredible episode of Turn Down the Hustle. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and found some valuable insights to fuel your journey. Don't forget to visit sunkissva.com/podcast to access the show notes for this episode. You'll find all the links mentioned in today's discussion, along with actionable tips and resources to help you implement what we've discussed. Lastly, make sure to hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. I'll be here cheering you on and sharing more inspiration and strategies to help you turn down the hustle and work smarter, not harder. I'm so honored to be a part of your journey. Until next time.